This is Andi Purewal for ID Boxing. I'm joined by Paul Smith Jr. here in Manchester. Paul, a very fiery press conference there between your brother Liam Smith and his opponent on Saturday night, Chris Eubank Jr. Just your initial reaction to everything that was said up on the stage there.
It's not my cup of tea. I'm not into all that. Some unsavoury shouts and things like that. It is what it is. It's a fight. I used to always get asked and see messages of people. Is it staged? And none of it's staged. They can't stand each other. They're never going to have a drink together. They're never going to have a coffee together. If they walk past each other in the street, I don't even think they'd say hello. You know what I mean? And I'm genuinely serious that if they bumped into each other in New York or somewhere, they wouldn't stop and say hello to each other. And Chris is the type that wouldn't probably say hello to anyone. We've met him before, we know him. And Liam's his type of character. Chris is his type of character. And the polar opposites, as they keep saying all week. But all that out the window, fighting, boxing, style-wise, personality-wise, fighting style, it's going to be some fight, and it's going to, all this little bit of needle here and there is going to just add to it. I think Eubank plays a game. Some of the things he's saying, he's clutching at straws with it, trying to wind Liam up and get on Liam's head and get under the skin. But as he keeps saying, he's been there and seen all the stuff Liam's trying to say. Is factual and is more sort of personally just aimed at him as a person, rather just to try and probably see a crack in his armour. But Liam said it himself before in the press conference, I'm not going to get under his skin, and he's certainly not going to get under mine. It's just going to be one of them fights. If I can wind him up a bit more, then what's the point, and vice versa with him. But all the talking will be out the window in a couple of days' time, and we'll be in the fight, and I think it'll be a great fight.
Paul, just going to pick that up and ask that question again. For some reason, my tripod just started to slant. It still is slightly, but yeah. From those, not from me, mate, no. But just on some of the comments that were said up there, obviously got a little personal. Liam's your brother. If anything was said up there, would any of it go underneath his skin, or from your knowledge of Eubank, would any of it go underneath his?
No, I doubt it. I don't think it. I know it won't with Liam, and it'll take a lot more than that to get under the skin. I've been trying to do it for 35 years.
I did a year on there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, 34 years. Sorry, it is what it is. It's one of them things, and as I've mentioned, I've sparred Eubank, a fair few rounds. I've spent 5 or 6 days in his company when he was in the gym, and I don't think I said all but 3 words to him, and vice versa. He's not that type of person, and again, I'm probably similar to Liam in a way that we probably clash as people anyway. But I don't think it'll get to Chris Eubank either. I don't think nothing will get to him, and I don't think it'll get to Liam. They're both professionals. Eubank will feel he's been in with better people than Liam, and Liam will certainly feel and know that he's been in with better people than Eubank, having fought Canelo, Munguia and the likes. So it's going to take a lot to get to either fighter, but it is what it is. These fight weeks, as I say, people will think it's staged or it's put on or they're told to say things before they get on. It's a load of nonsense. It doesn't happen. You get on there and you say whatever you're thinking or feeling at the time, not unscripted as such. You just get in there and answer the questions that are being asked of you and say whatever's on your mind or what comes up and deal with it then. But no, I don't think it'll get to either fighter, and I think a little bit of spice here and there, a little bit of things that are said which lies or exaggerations as such, or personal insults, it'll just probably add a little bit more fuel to the fire to them, but not really get to them, no.
Paul, the word hate is a very strong word. Does that apply in this instance on either fighter's behalf?
No, Liam certainly doesn't hate him. There's no one I hate. I don't think there's anyone Liam hates, you know what I mean? As you say, hate is a strong word. I can't see Chris Eubank hating Liam. Chris likes to play that character and that attitude and that persona of, I don't even know him. He plays that a lot with people where he will pretend he doesn't know someone, or he'll make out he's never heard of someone, or when he's getting a match with an opponent he doesn't know who it is. And so he certainly won't be seen to be thinking of someone as much enough to hate them, you know what I mean? So I can't see that, no.
Speaking to Roy Jones yesterday, I raised the point to him of a comment that he made previously that he doesn't prepare Chris Eubank Jr. for Liam Smith. He prepares him for a Canelo or a Golovkin, because they're the fights they're working towards, the fights where he needs the style of a Roy Jones to try and be successful. What are your thoughts on that?
I keep seeing that. I keep seeing Canelo and Golovkin and all them names being mentioned, but that was the case before he boxed George Groves. That was the case before he boxed Billy Joe Saunders. His dad was saying they'll beat his dad was saying they'll beat Canelo. And then he lost to Billy Joe. His dad was saying, Billy Joe beat him and looked good doing so, and he come back in the fight strong later on. But because he lost so many daily rounds, I keep seeing people mention about the methods of training with Roy Jones and how he might be stuck between styles. And I haven't watched the videos of the little bits of behind the gloves on Sky and all that. When I'm watching coaches or trainers or pad men hold the pads, again, it's awkward, and it's You'll see a public workout which I was watching last night, and Eubank must have missed the pads about 15 times at least, you know, and you might miss the pad once in a round if you're used to your trainer. If you're not used to your trainer, or you're not used to him taking the pads, you're not going to be in rhythm or in sync with the trainer or know what combinations he's asking for. And I saw a lot of the stuff last night which, you know, tells me that I don't think he's had that long account with Roy Jones. And Roy Jones is a brilliant boxing brain. He's one of the best pundits out there. I watch him on his punditry as a fighter. Unbelievable, exceptional records. Some fighter. Again, wasn't really one of my favourites growing up. I was always preferring the rough and ready type of fighters. And at the time, I loved Nigel Benn rather than Roy Jones because I was a young Scouse kid wanting to get behind our own. But I appreciated how good they were and how good they were. As a pundit, great. As a trainer, I don't know because I haven't seen it. I'm not disrespecting him, saying that's just a fact. You know, people talk about top fighters turning over and becoming good trainers. It doesn't always turn over where you can translate that to a fighter or pass that on. Having that experience in the corner can't hurt. I think Ronnie next to me, who's doing an interview next to me, does a lot of the work with Chris. But again, whether he listens or not, or whether he actually pays attention or not, is another thing. You know, he's his own fighter, he's his own man. He's the boss in the camp. Whereas when you get in that gym, your trainer's got to be the boss, and the coach has to be the boss to put you through what you need to go through because you won't want to go through it. But you know, whether he's going to be fighting like Roy Jones or not, who knows? I don't know. But I do know that it's been a long time since I've seen Chris Eubank work bell to bell for 3 minutes of a round for more than 1 or 2 rounds. He has a lot of rounds off because I don't think he's confident in his engine. I don't think he's confident to do 12 rounds anymore. And to do 12 rounds and to do it at a pace, when someone in front of you is doing it at a pace, you have to go there in the gym. And I don't think he's going there in the gym. I don't think he's pushing himself to the limit in the gym. I've never been in the gym and I wouldn't know, but that's just my opinion. That's what you're asked for. So, yeah, I think he'll have to have a change of styles because he's not going to be able to fight for 12 rounds. He's not going to be able to run and box and move for 12 rounds. He's going to have to mix it up. He's going to have to engage, and he's going to have to steal his rests here and there when he can, because I don't feel he can work for 12 rounds.
Paul, with everything you've just said in mind then, and just want to pick up on Eubank saying that he thinks he's going to stop your brother on Saturday night, what version of him do you expect to step between the ropes, and how does the fight play out?
I don't know. I don't know what version he's going to step through. I don't know him well enough. I haven't watched him or studied him enough to know that. He's saying he'll stop Liam. He could stop Liam. He could beat Liam on points. Liam could stop him. Liam could beat him on points. You know, I can't see how the fighter getting knocked out, but any result could happen in the fight. It's a close fight. It's an evenly matched fight. It's 2 very good fighters. But I believe Liam's is more experienced, his campaigns at a higher level, has been in the ring with bigger, stronger men and more than else his own, and all this stuff about the people that are saying the size difference or the weight difference are the people that don't really know the boxing, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean by that. There's people you can have a debate with about boxing, who get boxing, who understands it, but I've watched Liam Smith in the ring with Callum Smith, my brother, light heavyweight, soon to be hopefully champion of the world, unbelievable puncher, that's super middle and light heavy. And the spars you'd pay to watch, and the shots that are getting thrown in, there's no one holding back. I've sparred Liam myself, I've nailed Liam with big shots where I've had reactions or had fellas dropping off them, and he's tucked them, and he's got a brilliant chin, as has Eubank. So the size difference and the people making out Eubank's this ferocious puncher or deadly puncher. Again, I've been in the ring with him, he's not a puncher for me, and Liam said that himself the other day. He can't punch, he's not a big puncher. He's got the speed and he's got the explosiveness and the athleticism, or whatever you want to call it. You know, he's very athletic, but as a puncher, I don't know. I don't think so, to be honest with you. I didn't feel that when I sparred him, and Liam said the same. And you get to see anything in his recent fights to state that he's actually a puncher. That line Liam used in the press conference was great. You know, if I drop someone 4 times, they're not seeing the final bell. The fact that he let Liam Williams off the hook that time to let him see the final bell when he had him down 4 times in a fight says a lot about the engine, which you keep going back to. And I don't think he has that engine anymore, but we'll find out Saturday night. I've been wrong before, I could be wrong again, but from what I can see, that's my opinion.
All right, Paul, we'll leave that there now because I'm sure you're going to want to go and catch up with your brother and the team before they disappear, unless they're still behind me. So thanks for speaking to me in ID Boxing.
No problem, thanks mate.